Well, you see the 9 car come up. You see the flames come out of the 54 car right here. You saw the flames come out, and it checks the whole lineup.
4 wide.
Yes.
They start checking up. Accordion Stenhouse gets in the back of Hemrick, and then the worst one was Jimmy Johnson. Now, I will say, not much damage on that car.
He doesn't have a lot of damage, Clint, but if we can get a shot of the right front of Jimmy Johnson's car, it's going to come down to how low that splitter is. But you see all these cars check up, and Jimmy Johnson's at the back of the field, and they just check up harder than he expects, and just gets into the side of the 3 as they're trying to avoid the 31. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad on the right front there, Clint.
A little bump from Stenhouse was all it took to get Daniel Hemrick turned to the right into the wall.
Yeah, and that's no fault of Stenhouse there. He's just at the back of the accordion.
Let's ride with Jimmy Johnson.
The guys are taking big shots that you can really see in that camera angle.
Again, it was just all the groups coming together from that green flag pit stop. Blaney went to move up, make a pass. Byron blocked him, got him really.
Oh, Byron Blaney
turned
into the wall.
Kyle Busch.
And just like last year, Blaney gets caught up in the big one.
So make a move, Byron, with a big block. Watch this. Kind of a late block, got him stacked up, went back to the bottom. Side draft, and then just stacked him up behind him.
Kyle Busch got into the back of the 24 and turned him sideways.
And did Brad Keselowski get into the back of Kyle Busch?
Tore up a lot of good race cars, Clint. Man, you hate to see that in these qualifying races.
Yeah, Keselowski, as you mentioned, he was right there in the middle of it as well.
Yeah, and I think this is going to start with this car right here. Blaney's going to pull up.
Yeah, but
and what's going to happen here is Brad Keselowski's into the back of the 8, who you can see the flames coming out of Kyle Busch's car, trying to keep from getting into the back of the 24, but the 6 is pushing Kyle Busch so hard that he can't get checked up. You saw the flames come out of the pipes.
Doesn't take much. That movement, as soon as he moved and made it, it was kind of a late block, but it was still a good block. And when Blaney went back down to the bottom, it just stacked them up, and they run him over from behind. You saw them all live, just like you said. Flames tell all sign when they come.
Oh,
that's a heavy hit. Right rear, right into the wall, head on like that. Doesn't get any harder, Kevin.
That is one of the hardest hits that you can take in a race car, when you get turned in the middle of the straightaway, right front into the wall. And yeah, great.
I saw B.J. McLeod get hit 4 there on pit road and from on board.
Oh my gosh.
And now let's go on board.
So fast.
Kevin, you said something earlier in the week about
the on Tony Breidinger exiting the tri-oval.
Greg Van Alst making moves early.
Oh, trouble already.
And we've got Tony Breidinger around the 25, and they're wrecking all over the place. Caution is out.
Well. Yeah, SVG is in that as well.
Shane Van Gisbergen had to run this race to be able to race in the Xfinity race, so this will be interesting.
Let's see if she gets squeezed.
So I think the O2 got a push there and wiggled down the racetrack, and then they just kind of squeezed and touched on corner entry to 1. And just really tough part of the corner. The car is really light, and obviously a small push when you're racing that close, you know, only a few inches door to door, generates some contact.
Yeah, and the majority of these cars involve nothing they could do. There, Tony gets into the 97 of Jason Kitzmiller.
And everybody else is just checking up, trying to miss it. I mean, half
doing
the
their
cars
best to
in the
try to
back.
miss it.
See the 28 on the right side of your screen spinning around. That's Shane Van Gisbergen.
Here's a Sioux Chief on board for Tony Breidinger.
Yeah, so when that push got delivered to the 55, I mean, Tony, you can see by the lines on the racetrack, she was holding her car dead straight. Just got a push. That 02 car came down the racetrack and shoved her into the inside lane, and then everyone else is involved.
Yeah, I mean, we're 2-3 laps into the race, and we're already pushing people sideways.
It was really cool reading some of Marco's interviews about why he wants to be in this series. He's raced on some of the biggest stage. Ooh, big accident with one of our already damaged cars.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think similar to what you said, Phil. Probably had a tire go down and
Saw the debris on the racetrack, probably from where that tire went down.
crush panel, the whole rear fender's gone. Many of that, really at all, throughout the field. So I think you got the fastest.
Oh, no.
Cars. Oh gosh, we got Christian Rose
Christian
trying
Rose,
to hang on to it.
Can he save it? They're avoiding him all around. Anytime you can keep it off the wall here is a job well done for Christian Rose.
So here he is, bottom lane in the tri-oval.
It's like the
just getting a
44
push.
car, just a push going, but that's not the place to push.
It's
in the tri-oval. The corners, I know the ARCA officials tell these drivers all the time, please don't push in the corners or in the tri-oval, and that's where it goes bad.
It's the absolute worst place on the racetrack to give a push, receive a push, because you have both.
And caution comes out. This is the scheduled caution, and we have cars all the way around as the caution came out. That's Willie Mullins, the pole sitter, going around.
Dale Quarterly, the 4, Leland Honeyman in the 02.
Got a couple others back there involved.
Some accordion here. We've got Mark Andretti already spun all the way at the top of the field. Comes down in Dale Quarterly, and other cars just dodging the miss and locking down brakes. I wonder what further back, probably exited turn 2, how Marco got turned sideways.
Is going to come out. I'm not sure it's out yet.
Yep, you saw it on the wall right
so the
there.
caution is out, but I'm not sure anyone had backed off yet.
They looked really stacked up in that outside lane. I don't know if the couple of leaders were backing up, but you know, Marco was really tucked up. I believe that was the 55 at Gustine. I think he was trying to stay off of him, and whether if that's due to the fact that
Watch right side of your screen. There's the 17 of Marco.
Yeah, so Marco actually never even gets to the back of him. So he was just trying to stay off of the 55 because he got checked up behind I believe, LeVar Scott. Just a bit of an accordion there.
Yeah, Marco may have tapped the brakes to keep him running into the 55. Watch, the car's going to start sparking, like maybe he's broken a track bar mount or something like that, but it's going to turn it sideways.
He's running 6th at the time and does a good job keeping the car off the wall, but does bend the nose up quite a bit. And like Phil mentioned, I think something more suspension related happened there. I mean, you saw a piece go flying and hit the outside wall. I think it all depends on how long this outside lane stays in. We've got 2 really fast cars.
And around goes the 99. That's Michael Maples.
The wall. Oh gosh.
And another huge hit, and they hit again.
And there's Shane.
Mentioned Scott Melton.
Is that Big Willie? That was Big Willie that hit Scott Melton.
Willie Mullins right there in the 3. He was the pole sitter.
Looked like he was. He's going to catch Melton in the right rear corner.
Tell you what, that was a great evasive maneuver by that black car there, and a lot of these other guys missing some of this debris. And then you got SVG here coming to pit road and just rejoining the race, and he tattoos the infield.
Chantel, the 75, goes around.
You could see it right there where you mentioned that it looked like the throttle hung. Hoping that Willie is okay. So violent, you see that impact. So
we
impressive for
got
this
a
young
car
man.
on fire.
We've got a car on fire. There it is, Marco Andretti. He's had that damage, had a couple issues earlier, and the caution is out for the 8th time with about 3.5 laps to go in this race.
So whether that's just from damage from before, started smoking on corner entry there, turn 1, right front tire flat into the wall, probably cuts an oil line or something, caused that fire.
He was running up in the top 10. When we talked before about him running just outside the top 10, it was not out of the question, but
we're gonna have a run from the
it's going to be
as well.
Jake's going to have a run. Now it seizes up a little bit. Little side draft from Andres Perez.
It's going to depend on which lane gets the bigger push.
Oh, no.
Jake Finch goes around and dominated this race, wrecking all over the place at the front of the field. That will end this race. Andres Perez, huge hit on top of another. Let's see what happened here on the final lap.
Just a lot of pushes, and there was a lot of momentum coming back to that 3rd row, and that outside lane started it, and yeah, just a lot of pushing and shoving.
Yeah, I think Andy J was in the back of Jake, and I think Andy J had Lewis in the back of him as well, and they all just
it was almost simultaneous. The inside and the outside got to the 2nd row at the same time and just kind of fishtailed each other into both lanes.
Watch Perez in that 2 car up against the outside wall.
He's actually climbing over another car here, and he like stays mounted on top of the 73
Andy
car.
J's car.
Is that Armani Williams?
It is. It is.
The 13. What an impact for Jake Finch. Led 66 laps tonight, only to go straight into the wall on the final lap. Here's another look.
Yeah, Jake's just going down the straightaway, and they start pushing and shoving there, and
should be good onboard view here from Perez coming up, as he's obviously the car that's
he's on top of Andy Jankowiak's car.
This could be a wild ride. So he's getting the side draft, thinks he has a chance to win this race, and then lots of pushing and shoving. 20 gets turned into the fence, and then 2 car goes for a ride.
Oh my goodness.
amazing pictures.
And right behind him, Matt Crafton, the 3-time series champion in that bright yellow 88. And there goes Crafton. And we've got a crash. Gray around, the same for Sanchez.
Stuart Friesen in it.
Ty Dillon in the 25.
Dillon into the outside wall in hard contact with that Moffitt. Raja.
6 laps
in the blue Napa truck right behind Crafton. Just turned him a little bit sideways. Lane Riggs, look at that job he's doing.
Yeah, then he got into the 15. Crafton got into the 15 of Tanner Gray. There's Ty Dillon getting into the outside wall of the red and white. I mean, white and blue truck, excuse me.
You see, Crafton was about a half truck length up high on the back of Tanner Gray.
Tough break for Stuart Friesen there at the 52 Halmar truck.
Wow. Look at that dirt. Wow.
And we saw him right behind Jake Garcia.
There goes the right rear tire.
Yeah.
On the 33 truck. He just spins around.
See if we can see some debris coming off that truck. Look, maybe the splitter apparatus off the front of that truck.
Back down, not clear, and he's going to go in the wrong direction. Caution is out. 6th of the night. That's the 27. That's Keith McGee.
Already made contact, it looks like, with a wall. He's going to end up in the grass in the tri-oval.
Wow. That's a hard hit, Phil.
Yeah, and so many times, and we saw it earlier, when you have some damage from a previous wreck, you're going to get tire rubs and flat tires.
See if we can see Keith hit.
Wow, Wow, something just broke on that truck.
Had Greg on the right front of that truck and just turned him straight into the outside. Fortunately, safer barrier.
Yeah.
Is Bailey Curry going to come up and give him a bump? That 41 truck.
No, I think he just got loose.
Just got loose, and Bailey Curry goes around as well. Bailey's going to get into the inside safer barrier. Brett Holmes keeps his truck out of the safer barrier. Just got loose up off the corner.
We've seen it repeatedly, and maybe that.
Coming too fast, I was not going to block it. I just want to ride on the bottom. It's only lap 71.
Is that Rhodes again?
Yeah.
That's him losing his lap. Oh, he's going to crash.
There goes Ben Rhodes.
I don't know about that move.
Caution is out. 8th one of the night. You talked about him. He was getting lapped, and he was in the middle of all those trucks.
You know, he's probably wanting to catch the draft. I don't know what happened, but tire, he says, popped. Yeah, it went.
Yeah, it's gone now, and he's doing all he can do.
Pretty remarkable.
To try to keep that.
That he's hanging on to it right here.
And eventually.
Look at it turn sideways. And then he catches Tanner Gray in the 15 truck.
Luckily, no more trucks were involved than were.
Sure could have been.
Now we ride on board with Ben Rhodes.
Looks like Tony Breitinger had a little bit of contact as well.
She got damaged. We mentioned Tanner Gray.
Jack Wood behind him. Corey LaJoie up top.
Trying to get back. It's a push, and he's going to push him sideways.
There goes Eckes around. Right. Into Parsons. Johnny Sauter gets a piece. And other drivers scattering to miss the accident. Caution number 9.
Man. What a mess. Rolled out of the gas and just kept his truck pointed straight.
Boy, Stefan was absolutely in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of damage to that ballpark Chevrolet.
How many drivers have said that over the years racing at Daytona? Wrong place, wrong time.
Does a heck of a job hanging on to it after that Connie.
19 to go. Sanchez, Taylor Gray, LaJoie, Purdy, and Wood. The top 5 under caution.
This is so aggressive.
Got trouble again. Tony Breitinger in the 1. The 5 is Dean Thompson. Teammates at Tricon. It produces our 10th caution of the night.
Ooh, just kisses the inside safer barrier.
Closing on 10 laps remaining. Under caution one more time for the trucks at Daytona.
See what he can do now. Give him a push on the back. Oh, there
Tyler
goes the
Ankrum
truck.
out of shape. Caution is out. Contact with Purdy. Eckes gets a piece as well.
We've seen how loose that truck's been all night. Chase Purdy with big damage there on the 77 Bama Buggies truck.
11th caution of the night matches the track record.
This is ugly.
Going to get another look at it here. It's amazing no more trucks were involved than there were, guys.
I was going to say, you know, it's Ankrum that gets shoved out of line and collects some others, but they're all just.
He's doing all he can do to control that truck, and it just gets away from him. And he turns down into Chase. Timmy Hill does a nice job avoiding that, just going through the grass. Christian makes contact with Ankrum.
Look at that off-roading that Timmy Hill's doing through the infield grass, jumping up in the air.
We saw Grannon. Sanchez will try to work both. Oh, trouble.
And there's a crash. Caution is out. The race is over. Trucks up in the air. Nick Sanchez leading when the caution flag came out. impact.
See, like, I mean, I've never avoided so many wrecks in my life. I can't believe I have a clean truck. But I'm not going to complain about it. It's truck racing, it happens. But super proud of Truck on Garage and Toyota Racing. Got a little bit of work to do for Talladega with the speed of this thing, but I thought the best strategy for me was to lay low and hopefully be there at the end, and we were, and looks like we came up one short.
That is scary looking.
It's just amazing.
But like you said, that's about as soft as you can turn one over.
That's exactly right. And it didn't just keep tumbling either, like we've seen happen so many times. I don't know if Raja just lost the front end of his number 71 Chevy or what went down there, but he definitely went up the track and made contact. Look at that mess. Phil, did you see Stefan sliding through there anywhere?
He did get through there, yes.
Watch this, just out of nowhere. Smoke, smoke. Truck. Now,
watch it hit the roof.
Amanda?
Raja, there was many ways that I was going to go in this conversation with you, but I saw you hand the phone back that you were just on, and the name said Rick Hendrick. What did that conversation go?
Yeah, it's all because of him, you know, being in this spot. So I'm really thankful for Mr. H and the Hendrick Automotive Group, along with Spire Motorsports and Chevy, because the only reason I got to ride.
There we go.
And we have our first caution of the night. It's going to be Sam Mayer in the one.
Well, there's another car involved.
That is not good.
Kyle Weatherman, the 91.
Trying to figure out how those other two cars got caught up in that.
It looked like.
Oh, Daniel Suarez.
As well. It's the Wendy's on board.
Yeah.
Looked like a big stack up, really.
Yeah, and Daniel got out of the gas, and whoever was right behind Daniel didn't see the stack up or didn't get the word. And there's Haley running.
Got upside down. Scary crash for him, and tonight eliminated
pretty hard
early.
hit right there.
Boy, that was a hard hit.
Yeah, you don't like to see those angles.
Difficult. You can't see two cars ahead of you, so it's just tough. See the fire come out the exhaust, somebody let off, and bam.
Look at Blaine Perkins, the blue car inside lane, driving that 29 full-time. There goes Jesse Love.
I was worried about that.
Third caution of the night. Nemechek involved. Allmendinger, Austin Hill.
Did not like the situation he was in, and now got Austin Hill caught up in it. I don't know if he's got any damage or not.
I don't think any damage for Austin Hill. If there's contact or what exactly happens. See the third car back in the center. The two, there's pushing going on.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit of contact from behind.
And it went wrong right there. Was that John Hunter? That
Looked like John Hunter, yeah. Just a little bit too much of a push. Yeah, they're trying to make that center lane surge, and they almost have to be touching each other, you know, bump drafting so they can make that happen. And man, the cars are not quite stable enough for that.
Look at that simultaneous slide from 20 and 21, and Austin did a really good job of righting the ship and hanging on to it. He's got damage, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
Just a lot of wind in the middle of that racetrack when you're the center of three wide. Your car's getting buffeted from both directions, and if you get any little bit too aggressive with the steering wheel, you'll get behind in your steering in a hurry. This should be wild. We're going to hop on board with Austin Hill as he slides through the grass. I don't think any damage to that car.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I don't see any.
Also saw Sammy Smith driving through the grass. This is the Bennett Transportation onboard camera.
Yeah, he did get some. He probably did get some damage from that.
Right front.
By side with Custer now.
Retzlaff in the middle.
Somebody shoots out of line.
I think Allgaier.
It is Allgaier.
I thought
I saw smoke. I couldn't figure out what happened.
Oh, and here comes
Took off right there. I got a flat though.
Smithly in the
These veterans like Allgaier to make better decisions. We're only 45 laps into a 100-lap race, 120-lap race. Not the time to be that aggressive with that move.
That thing jumped up there awful quick, though, didn't it?
We have an early candidate for the save of the night, I'll tell you.
I like
Pretty
it.
good.
And last summer we came here, and Allgaier got his first Daytona win. And he did so. Allgaier makes a pit stop. He'll reset at the tail of the field. Custer, Herbst, Chandler Smith, Retzloff, Karam, the top 5, halfway home in stage 2.
That pit crew is filled with some guys that are real mechanics. They know how to fix a race car and do it quick.
Got another spinner. That's Nemechek.
Oh.
Josh Bilicki, 92.
Yeah, looks like he got the worst of that.
Big time damage. 5th caution of the evening comes out.
Yep. Looks
There
like
goes the left
right
rear
there.
tire.
Yep. He did a pretty good job not to do any more damage to the car. Wow. Got lucky, too.
Oh, and just contact there into the back of the 92.
Nemechek involved.
He's getting ready to be the caution. And it's because of Shane trying to get in a hole that wasn't there.
Not there at all. I say Jeb Burton's lucky to get away with not getting any damage there.
Lucky, and also, did you see him? He had his foot on the floorboard, too, when he was sliding toward the wall, keeping those tires spinning, keeping him out of that wall. That's good driving.
We've seen some really, really good saves tonight. The buffet is open. Let's do the Golden Corral onboard camera.
Ah, such a helpless feeling when that happens to you.
He didn't quit driving it, though.
No, he didn't.
He kept driving through that grass.
Was able to get
Great
her
job.
head in the right direction, get him some. Look how fast that happens.
Shane Van Gisbergen just.
Oh, and
into
then
the
Shane
air.
goes for a spin.
Yeah, he did. I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
I wondered because I thought, man, he's got to be top 5, and then I top 10 at least, and then I looked up and saw he wasn't there, and that's the reason why.
And he kept it out of the traffic.
Look at this save.
Wow.
We're talking about how good a save Jeb Burton made. This one was even better.
You don't do that in supercars. They're off of Ryan Sieg and debris on track. We've got our 8th caution. And we got more than debris. Look at this.
Jeb Burton again.
Few fits, right?
Oh, look at that. Looked like Parker Retzloff and Jeremy Clements were arguing over space. And Honeyman got the worst of the deal.
We've seen that a handful of times tonight where it's just, I mean, we're talking about no more than a foot or so that these guys could cut each other a break and not cause these, but we've had quite a few cautions because of it.
Well, if you're going to cut someone a break, you're not doing it anymore. You're just going to race hard.
Remember, Austin Hill was back there.
Look at that.
Yeah, we're talking about, less than 6 inches.
But Retzloff would not let him have that 6 inches and was able just to drive through it.
Riding with Jeb Burton. It's a part of the caution and therefore does not qualify.
Just watch.
Here's your push. Still bottom at the lane to the lead.
His teammate slapped the wall, and there goes Sage Karam. Another crash at Daytona. Justin Allgaier hopping through the grass.
What a mess is right, Andy.
He's up there in that outside lane. You're getting a big run. That's just too hard. You can't hit somebody from behind that hard. I know you need to be pushing and shoving to try to get some momentum, but that was just no way to kind of survive that.
Yeah. There are a lot of guys that did a great job sliding through there.
Jesse Love.
There's Daniel Dye spinning in the 10 car. Blaine Perkins slipped right up the middle for the lead.
saw Austin Hill driving through that. He was ahead of the mess.
Sheldon Creed's hungry for a win. Uh-oh.
There goes Ryan Sieg.
18, just watch 18.
That might do it.
Caution would end it.
No yellow. No yellow.
No yellow yet.
Be there.
Oh, crash! Two cars slammed together, and Harrison Burton takes a wild ride through the grass and up into more traffic, gets tagged, turned around, and 5 cars are in it. Ryan Preece.
I think he missed that inside wall. Harrison Burton, big damage on the 21 car.
And Carson Hocevar, the rookie, gets taken out into that very, very wet grass in the ball field. Outside of Burton, the green and white car, and Brad Keselowski and he make contact.
Keselowski got to his rear bumper, just took a little bit of a lub tap, turned him sideways, kind of looked to me like he was on the left corner of that bumper, turned him right down into Harrison Burton.
Well, and it's just what we were talking about, Clint, with everybody trying to feel out exactly what their cars were knocked out, or I see him with the hood up on pit road, but Harrison Burton, what a terrible break for the Wood brothers and everything that you prepare for over the last 3 months, and we see this race go that time every once in a while. Just these early wrecks that sometimes start with just people trying to go and trying to move forward.
Burton would have been okay, but for coming back up on the racing surface, obviously couldn't slow down. Kaz Grala thought he had the high line clear, and he did until Burton got there. A lot of damage here. Let's ride with Jimmy Johnson.
Terrible feeling. Smoke.
Yeah, and he just.
That's a pretty good shot.
Yeah, that was hacked there. With this particular car, you can't just hang back like you used to. You have to be somewhat close to the pack. You see Ryan Preece sliding through there. Harrison Burton's radiator and ductwork, everything fly out of the front of the car.
That's a good point, Kevin. You know, in years past, back in the day, you just ride around back.
20 cars come in, and around goes one of them as John Hunter Nemechek tried to force the issue on Josh Berry.
Josh Berry needed to get down.
Chastain saw it coming and went up with him.
Now Logano to the outside. They can't get around.
Whoa! Keselowski gets turned by William Byron. Blaney gets caught up. Gilliland, Truex, Hamlin, and more.
All those Fords were struggling to get around Chastain. Who could get around and get that clean air track position first?
Anthony Alfredo there.
Reddick, massive damage on him.
Thursday night winter time.
And you see Alex Bowman up the racetrack, and then they start zigging and zagging here. And
well, obviously, William Byron and Bowman, that's where it ended up. But the movement from the 6 and the 22, jockeying for position, trying to outduel one another to that position of passing Chastain, that's what stacked all those guys up and got them in trouble. Those guys were going for it. Chastain was holding them up. You saw the 6 go to the bottom. You saw the 22 go to the outside. The race was on, and unfortunately, those guys behind him.
This gives you a much better view right there. You see the 24 car just being pushed, and sometimes you're not aligned, and you know you're not lifting, and that car gets to moving around, and you hope it works out, and it just didn't work out right here.
We saw this same scenario playing out at the duels the other night when Blaney got in a wreck. You really can't pin it on anybody. It's hard racing, everybody going for it, but when those cars move in front of them, it slows the energy down. This probably tells the other part of the story. You're not going to run 3 wide that long.
Well, we said it several laps ago, right? We both said it.
Yeah, when Keselowski turns.
Oh my gosh. If that left rear quarter panel wasn't curved in a little bit, I mean, it went right with the curvature of the left rear quarter panel.
Ross Chastain and Brandon McReynolds did a phenomenal job of keeping those guys behind him. Had he slipped up one time and missed a block, he'd have been right in the middle of that. He was wheeling it. That one got his wrist.
Yeah,
that one got his wrist.
Grabbed his hand. Yeah,
a tough week for Ryan Blaney.
Stronger that is than what it used to be.
Yeah, and that's the reason that you see a lot more of these guys take their hands off the wheel, because the rack will just jerk your hands out, and if your thumbs are in there, it'll break them. We saw Ryan Blaney grab his wrist there. Eric Jones, he held onto the wheel, but he holds the wheel with his thumbs up on top of the wheel. A lot of guys do not. They hold their thumb around the wheel, and the spokes will literally rip your thumbs off and break them.
Yeah, I think it was his wrist. It could have been his thumb. I mean, to your point, usually is. That's why it hooks your wrist.
Yeah, and a lot of times when that wheel is spinning around like that, sometimes it'll hurt leading the bottom lane with Austin Cindric behind him. Ross Chastain leading the outside lane.
1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank, and away they go. That is Cindric into Chastain and up into traffic.
Did they complete that lap?
Did the leader get the white flag? Caution waving.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
I don't know if he got it out in time. I think
idea of where he needed to go.
He went for it.
The caution came out at the wrong time, and William Byron winds up winning the race with the timing of the caution on the white flag lap.
And watch Chastain here. Man, he misses this inside wall so close when he spins down here. Watch how close he gets to this end of the pit road wall.
And the other thing that I noticed,
this, Kevin.
Started out playing video games, racing on his computer, says, Dad, I want to try this.
Oh.
They came to Charlotte and hopped in Legend.